The Finch came to visit the school a couple of years ago, and she said, "Captain," she called me Captain, that's another story. She said, "Captain, are you the sage on the stage or the guide on the side?" And without missing a beat, I said, "Are you kidding? I'm Jesus H. Christ." Now, besides the sheer joy of cursing in the teacher's lounge, I wanted to stake out my side in the great battle, the great education battle between the moderns and the ancients. I'm an ancient, of course. Now, this battle is probably best observed by just listening to a couple of quotes from the internet. This is from some private schools and public schools. So here's the first one. I'll read it to you and let you read it at the same time. "In personalized learning classrooms, you can observe practices such as planning and design conferences between the student and the teacher, ongoing formative assessments that authentically involve students, and student learning portfolios that gather evidence of learning. The educators created blending learning hubs where students have a level of autonomy over the subject they learn, the modality, and the pace of their learning." Now, here's one from Alief Public School, just down the road. "The current system was designed for another age, and we are innovators changing education paradigms. A huge shift is happening. Traditional approaches aren't enough to create future leaders in problem solving and collaboration. Alief School District is shifting traditional teaching and learning practices to dynamic 21st century learning experiences for students and teachers." And a final one, this is from a private school. It's a private school, not in Houston. It's, I think, in Tyler, Texas. "As a school of inquiry, innovation, and impact, we are designing programs and spaces that allow students to explore their questions, passions, and interests in a hands-on, experiential learning environment. The result is a school where creativity and self-expression are encouraged, and students are engaged, equipped, and ready to lead into the 21st century." So all of these new innovative approaches, student-centered, so no classrooms with desks facing the teacher. The teacher is now a facilitator, and the student is an active participant in the choosing of what he will and how he or she will learn. And we have hubs and pods and all sorts of stuff for the 21st century innovator. If we don't do this, they won't survive the 21st century. Well, this is, of course, exactly what John Dewey was saying in 1900. He was saying almost exactly this stuff, this experiential learning where the students would take the cotton and pull the cotton apart. He's just talking about elementary schools. And this is not new stuff. This is an argument, not over... Well, let's back up. What is it that these new innovative things want to do? And the answer is critical thinking. And my thought is, no, school, in my class at least, is to learn U.S. history. I hope you do some critical thinking inside my class. In fact, John C. Calhoun is going to do some serious butt-kicking when he tries to argue with you that slavery has to be allowed into the territories, and any attempt to stop slavery from coming into the new territories of New Mexico and California is actually immoral. And by the way, very few kids can argue with him. He's pretty powerful. So yes, of course, we want critical thinking, but it's history that I'm teaching. I'm teaching United States history. It's a curriculum. I'm the expert. I know how to teach it. I've been delivering this story. It's a show. It's the Mr. Horn show. Don't put the kids up there and don't come and talk to me about what you want to do. No, stop. I do something innovative. I make my kids write a 20-page research paper, which they do by themselves at Rice University. I give them very little input on that. We spend a couple of days in school, but that's some seriously independent learning. But in my classroom, I want you to learn history. You should be reading the textbook, but I will give you a good show. We do discussions. We do primary sources. But I'm the master teacher. You're not. Now, let's take another subject like calculus. Do you think that a student has any clue of what's going on in calculus? You've got to be kidding. We have a calculus teacher who's been teaching for 35 years. She's the expert. She knows how to do this, and her class runs. Now, you may think that you have some input, but you don't. She has everything planned. The whole class is being designed by her, and she has it down to a science, because she's been doing this for a long time. And all of her kids make 5s on the AP. So, see, that's the question. When they say, well, we got to have critical thinking, my thought is, well, can I see some of your critical thinking? And they're like, yes, look at our portfolios. And the answer is, no, I'm not looking at 1,000 portfolios. Show me an AP test score. Let me think about U.S. history. By the way, this is maybe a little off, but I teach U.S. history. To teach U.S. history, I need the sophomore teacher to teach European history, and I need the freshman teacher to teach ancient and medieval history, because you can't understand U.S. history unless you've learned all of those. In my perfect school, history is not part of the social studies. Social studies is geography, economics, political science, psychology, all that stuff. History is its own discipline. And in my school, the 4th year of history after American history is Africa, the Middle East, Pakistan, and India, and China. And we'll start at the present, and we'll work our way backwards on all 4 of those. Now you'll know a lot of stuff. Will you forget some of the stuff? Of course you're going to forget a lot of the stuff. I don't remember my geometry or my physics, but I know that light particles work in a certain way, and I know that works also. We can argue about whether we want to get rid of history, which I think this is. I think this is a method of getting rid of history. That's my theory on this. So we'll talk about whether we should get rid of history maybe in the next lecture.